looks like they're not going to be spawning on that side, but you're going to have Moose running the AR for TCM. I want to stay on board with him because he's really going to have to outshine Swanee if they're going to have a chance to win this one.
Well, guys at home, quickly tweet out the stream, hashtag EU Finals and hashtag Call of Duty Championship. Let's get into this game. Josh picking up a two-piece straight away. Moose trying to answer back. Will pick up Josh for the trade. Going to see another one. Glass picks him up as well. This game has started off with two pieces, but it will be Epsilon just in control.
No, Moose has impressed me this event. When we casted him in Orlando a little bit, he had a rough event. Coming into this one, didn't know what to expect at him. Kind of my wild card player for TCM, but he has definitely been proven to really up his game to that Moose we saw in Ghost. I mean, towards champs time in Ghost, he was absolutely phenomenal.
You know what? Josh has also been having a fiery tournament. He has looked like one of the strongest Epsilon players without a shadow of a doubt. But Tommy, now we're on board with, has pulled off some ridiculous clutches this weekend. Now going to sit on the hill. It does look like Epsilon will have the spawn for the next rotation.
Tommy picks up a nice two-piece there in the middle, and Tommy's been one of my favorite players to watch the entire weekend. Kind of the in-game leader for this Epsilon team. Just always playing consistent, always making smart plays. Definitely, in hardpoint, you're going to look for him to do a little bit of everything, hang out around the objective, maybe pick up some kills. If Matt Cat or Swan is struggling a little bit, but I think the game mode he's going to excel in as we go through this series is going to be uplink.
One thing you will have to look for here is Josh is Jerd Kryptonite, but not there. He just picked up a three-piece, jumped in the hill. TCM will finally gain control. They are down a little bit. It's going to be Jerd holding the spawn. Can he manage to get it? No. Outshot by Mad Cat. Swanee picks up another one going in. They've dropped 3 of TCM, and they are swarming the hill. Mad Cat looking for this kill, not able to convert.
You can tell Mad Cat is feeling it. I mean, he got that kill on Jerd extremely fast, and no hesitation. He was pushing straight towards their spawn, trying and rack up more kills. Mad Cat is hot. He's one of the most dominant players in Call of Duty worldwide. Doesn't matter what region we're talking about. Mad Cat, when he is on fire, there's really nothing you can do about it.
This game is going to be full throttle, full time. TCM now getting onto the point to contest it. They are slipping behind just a little bit. They're going to be looking to set up for this next rotation, and they do need the points to bring it back to equal.
Yeah, TCM, I like the play. They're going to start to rotate early to that back garage, try and control this spawn, but they have to be careful because if Epsilon is able to break this off the start, it's going to spell trouble for them for the rest of this game because then they're going to have to start playing a little bit more for garbage time. You see Tommy with a kill, Swanee with a kill, and Epsilon definitely trying to make their way into this hill. It's really going to be Shane for TCM, the only one in there, and they're going to break that fairly quickly. So that is an absolutely huge play out of Epsilon. If they're able to contain this garage hill for the rest of this time, it's going to be a massive lead in this first hardpoint.
Right now, Epsilon are holding it down now as Swanee picks up a two-piece.
Man, is so sick.
This guy is the immovable object. He just doesn't stop shooting and continues to pour pain onto TCM. TCM with a massive behind segment at the moment, 84-24. I didn't think it was going to be this one-sided.
You watch Swanee shoot a ball, and it just looks different than every other player in the world. I mean, he just shoots lasers, just straight lasers. You never see his gun kind of flinch up, go out of control. He's always keeping it laser-like on that player. It's just incredible to watch.
Well, we're going to look for the rotation here. It will be one player from the Epsilon squad that has got there first, and it's going to be Swanee. Swanee has managed to get in before the rest of TCM, but instantly taken down. TCM still need good time on this hardpoint coming back.
They're going to need a lot of time here, and they're going to need to win the rotation on the second rotation of hills to that garage hardpoint. That got a really bad start right here. They're going to have to mount a little bit of a comeback, and that starts on this hill. They need to get time here, but you see Epsilon able to break that easily, even though I wasn't a fan of the way they played that rotation. The first person on rotation, Bryce, they need to hit the cut that's the furthest away from the hill.
Yeah.
When you saw Swanee go in the back there, he pretty much let all of TCM really push into the hill. If he would have pushed that furthest distance out, would have got that first kill, traded the second one, then his teammates could have flooded in and taken control.
Well, TCM have managed to get back in here, but heavy pressure. 4 of Epsilon coming through glass, and they are going to just blitz straight through. Not an awful lot TCM can do. Epsilon are looking dominant. I think they're just going to try and put this team to bed.
And Josh having an amazing first rotations of hills. 18-9, 4 caps to his name. And coming into this event, I know me and you talked a little bit just about some of the teams and players. He was kind of my wild card for this Epsilon team. Wasn't sure how he's going to play on this big stage. And he has absolutely showed up. He's played phenomenal this championship Sunday. You can argue, Swanee's had an up and down day. Josh has really stepped up and picked up some of that load.
Josh and Tommy actually have a fantastic record of not losing finals. I think they've won 10 together.
Really?
Yeah. And also, I believe, like I said, Josh has said before, he's Jerd's kryptonite. Jerd just really struggles to beat him.
And Jerd in the hill right now, trying to do some work for TCM, trying to make that comeback. After having that great series in the last one they just had, that semifinals against Aware, you figured they would come out, feeling pretty good. They were shooting hot. They looked good, actually. 2 kills right there out of Josh. Massive play. But you'd figure that TCM would come out hotter. They seem really flat in this first game.
They do. They said that they are in trouble. They could be a 100-point club here, and that will really be a blow to morale if Epsilon can pull it off.
Well, this first game, if you're Epsilon at this point, you have a very good chance of winning. You're up 100 plus. I mean, you want to just set a pace for the rest of the series. You want to try and blow them out as much as possible because obviously, in between maps, it becomes a lot pretty sad in those booths when you just really demoralize a team like that.
Well, we go on board with Josh at the moment, just going to try and hold in the pool. He's looking towards the glass tunnel. And Epsilon just looks so dominant everywhere. They're forcing TCM now to play for all the scrap time. And once you're in that position, it's so difficult to get out. If you have to wait for a late rotation and fight to the last second, you're always going to be behind.
Right. Getting this far behind on hardpoint really puts you behind the 8 ball because you have to play for pretty much every hill at this point, regardless of whether it's a hill it's mostly a contest or a money hill. And you have to send players on rotation to get the next hill because you can't afford to give that up as well. So you're pretty much, regarding what Epsilon decides to do, I mean, Epsilon could stack hills and then you're playing 4v2 there. They could rotate 2 or 3 players and then you're playing 3v2 or 4v2 there. So you're always at a disadvantage. It's extremely hard to make a comeback of this proportion in a hardpoint.
It is. It does look like TCM will have the spawn for the rotation when it comes in, but the problem is going to be that they have to keep onto this middle hardpoint to the last second because they are just that far behind.
Right. Every split second, that Epsilon takes just makes it harder and harder for them to come back. It's not like Epsilon needs to take chunks of time on each hill. They can pretty much split the rest of them. They'll be fine. But you're going to have TCM controlling the hill first off the break here. There's Jerd picking up one. Mad Cat's going to be flying in, trying to take out more. You just see the aggression speed of Epsilon. Just really TCM having a hard time keeping up.
Jerd's got it, but he's looking the wrong way. Is here they've got it. They've got the top spawn, and that's what Epsilon want. They're going to be able to just pour more bodies in and get through that easy route. But TCM are trying to push them out, but they're just not doing it. Looking at the TCM scoreboard here, you can see Gunchi really is struggling.
Yeah, Gun's struggling a little bit. 13 and 29 right now, and that's really, it's going to be a huge difference in this match because you're getting even slaying from everybody on Epsilon. To be honest, I was worried a little bit about Swanee coming into this series. Seemed a little bit tired. They seemed like they spent a lot of energy just getting through yesterday, that they didn't have anything left in the tank for today, but they definitely do after this first hard point. I mean, it just almost looks like they're playing a little bit faster. Their decisions are just more precise than the TCM squad.
Yeah, both teams are just ramping the tempo up. And like you said, Epsilon do seem a bit quicker. Their movement is faster. Their reflexes are just on point. They're snapshotting just there. No hesitation to just drop people.
And I would say this is a huge map for TCM because, obviously we go into an S&D next, and Epsilon has been one of the best S&D teams we've had here throughout the entire weekend, and even online, against all regions. They've been absolutely dominant in that game mode. So going into this, TCM really needed to focus on winning this hard point, and right now that does not look likely.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, Epsilon have really put it out of the bag. You've got Josh. When Josh is dropping 34 to 19 and he's got 12 caps, this
tough.
Guy is just straight heat.
Yeah, I mean, he's on fire right now, but even so, you don't expect him out of that, put those numbers up on this team. When he is playing that well and you're still getting good production out of the other players, this team can contend with any team in the world.
Well, there you go. I think this is pretty much a foregone conclusion now. It does look like Epsilon are going to take the first map. And you know what? It was a little bit more one-sided than I thought. Jerd there managed to go neutral against the Epsilon onslaught. But the rest of his team will be negative. Gunchi brought it back just a little bit to be only 2 times negative.
Yeah, I mean, Gunshosh, really, he struggled a little bit in this first hard point. I think it's really the speed of the game. I think Jerd, he plays at that freakish snapshot type of speed. The rest of the team really not accustomed to that. TCM, that's why they excel in a game mode like CTF, because it's a little bit of a slower play style. Gunshi's been playing CTF for a very long time. Definitely a game mode that he's accustomed to. To play a speed of hardpoint like this, especially against players that are so aggressive like Tommy and Madcap, forcing so many engagements, it's very difficult to win.
There you go. I think the game has actually slowed down a bit. It looks like Epsilon have just taken their foot off the gas. And for good reason, really. This game is all but done. TCM finally going to get some points on the board, trying to just bring it back. I mean, TCM will go right to the end and try to get their heads in the game and keep warm. If
you're TCM, you don't even discuss this map after it's over. Yeah. You kind of just throw it away, so to speak, in your mind, and you really focus on that S&D because they're going to need to win that. If they lose that S&D, it's going to be very difficult for them to come back in this series. I think we see a stat, teams that go up 2-0 in a series, they win 90% of the time. So definitly going to be a for them to come back. Jerd's just making some fantastic plays. Oh, if he would have just done that, that would have been nasty to Josh. But a little bit too late for this TCM team, as we're going to have Epsilon take this first hard point.
Well, the rotation hit there just at the end. Jerd staying alive. Not 250 quite yet. Jerd putting a few bullets extra in.
I mean, Jerd's had a pretty good game. 40 and 35 in a loss. I mean, it's difficult. You need some slaying power out of the rest of your teammates. Your teammates playing at a little bit of a slower pace, something they're more used to. You're going to need better production out of them. You're going to win this series.
There we go. Epsilon will win in a very confident performance. And they've definitely set a trend here to say to TCM, we're going to take it this year.
Yeah, they definitely look pumped in that booth. You know, Swanee is definitely looking to bring this championship home. Same with Tommy. You know, they've kind of had a little bit of a journey at the beginning of Advanced Warfare, both of them, to kind of end up back on Epsilon.
Yeah.
So to bring it back home would be huge for them.
Well, just looking at the scoreboard, Josh in the end dropped 41 of 25 for 14 captures as well and 5 defends. The man was everywhere.
You also had Swanee go 40 and 30, and we talk a lot about why is Optic Gaming so successful, right? North America, and I think it's because of their BAL play. Formal, one of the better BAL players in the world. Swanee definitely on the same caliber as him.